Our quality of life here in the Northwest depends on water. Our lakes, rivers, and Puget Sound give us food, transportation, jobs, and fun. In 2017, King County completed a 3-year scientific analysis called the Water Quality Assessment and Monitoring Study.
We look back at decades of data to understand how water quality has changed long-term. We collected hundreds of samples in Lake Union, the Lake Washington Ship Canal, the Duwamish River, and in Elliott Bay to understand current conditions and current water quality. We also looked at future projects and programs to understand how water quality will change. We will use the results in our plan to control combined sewer overflows, or CSOs. CSOs release stormwater mixed with sewage to our water bodies on very rainy days.
By 2030, King County and Seattle will control all CSOs so that each overflows no more than once a year.
The water quality assessment will provide a baseline to compare future water quality to the conditions we have today. We will use it to track how our investments will improve water quality. We asked 5 independent evaluators to review the scientific work. These experts looked at every aspect of the project while it was being developed. They asked hard questions and made suggestions to make sure the methods and results are high quality, thorough, and objective.
There's fantastic monitoring data for King County. For many of the lakes and many of the streams have been monitored on a consistent basis for many water quality constituents for decades. And I think there's almost no urban area in the country that has that quality of data.
There's really nothing that I've seen anywhere that compares to the level of effort and the level of professionalism that has been addressed both in the data collection, the data analysis, the data presentation, and then just the management of the process itself has been very professional, very thorough.
I work with a lot of municipal agencies just like King County all over the country, and I was impressed with the level of knowledge and quality that this group had.
The news is good. Long-term trends show that the water quality investments we've made over the last 50 years have paid off. Even as our region has grown, water quality is improving. We see lower levels of bacteria that can make people sick. There are lower levels of nutrients that can cause toxic algae blooms. And there is more dissolved oxygen for fish to breathe.
Our region has a good track record tackling tough water quality problems. Lake Washington was once too polluted for swimming. Building our wastewater system made it one of the cleanest urban lakes in the world. We've been working to control combined sewer overflows since the 1970s. And the results of the water quality assessment show that bacteria levels have come down in that time.
Interestingly enough, King County has a very famous history in this regard. King County Metro, the same agency that we're talking about right now, was the agency that originally restored Lake Washington from a very degraded state. And in my field of research, that's oftentimes cited as the most famous case study.
The results also confirm the need to build projects to control the rest of the CSOs. Uncontrolled CSOs still contribute 90% of the fecal coliform bacteria entering the water bodies today.
By 2030, King County and Seattle will complete projects to make sure each CSO overflows no more than once a year based on long-term average. And that will reduce the amount of fecal coliform bacteria entering the water bodies by about 80%.
One of the things that surprised me was that great progress has already been made. That, for example, fecal coliform and bacteria levels have been declining for quite some time. That indicates to me that they're really on the right track. King County is doing the right thing. They're making good progress, and they've got great plans to improve water quality in the future.
The results also point to other water quality issues that will continue to need our region's attention and resources. For example, temperature is getting warmer, which is worse for fish. And even with the long-term improvements, water quality does not always meet standards.
CSO is just one of the problems, one of the issues, and some of they can get some incremental increases in water quality by taking care of CSOs, but that other pathways such as stormwater and upland sources are another pathway that needs to be addressed in order to really improve the overall water quality of Puget Sound.
The region has more work to do. At King County, we're committed to doing our part to protect the lakes, rivers, and Puget Sound that means so much to our quality of life. And we are committed to sharing what we learn and partnering with others to achieve water quality.
I've learned a lot in this process, actually, and since I work on water quality and stormwater issues, A lot of the findings that they've come up with, I can use that in my own work. I can reference their work, and it sort of sets me in certain directions for future research as well.
King County is a leader in protecting water quality. For 50 years, we've been building and operating wastewater treatment plants and pipes, monitoring water quality, and partnering with people to protect our water bodies.
So the reason this work has been important to me is because my son now lives here in Seattle, and I expect he'll be getting married and raising his family here. So I'd like to see my family be raised in an area where the environment will support them and the other folks here in Seattle.